Welcome back to Fantasy Baseball, going over the DraftMasters 2025 draft in Las Vegas at the Golden Nugget. We're going through the snake draft. We have 30 players. At the end, we get 7 people. After the auction draft, we pick 7 in a snake draft. First person taken was Scherzer at $1, then Treinen, then Victor Scott and McCarthy, and then Pham and Rafaela and Rice and Bailey and Stram and Holmes. That's the first round. Victor Scott's a decent first rounder. Rice is obviously a good first rounder. Stram's a good free guy for your solds. I like that. And I think Holmes has some upside as a pitcher for Mike. So
he's starting now.
He's starting now, exactly. And I think they're only going to get 5-6 innings in him, but he's through. He had a good spring. So Arenado, who's your second take? Baldwin?
Yes, the catcher.
The catcher,
from
right.
Atlanta.
Not a bad second pick.
He's the best. He was the number 1 catching prospect in the league.
Yeah.
But he's only getting a shot because Murphy's out.
Right. So when Murphy comes back, you'll revisit that. But not a bad second snake draft pick. I took Joey Ortiz. He plays a few positions. He's starting, whatever. Kirkering, Gaddis, Pepiot. Pepiot's a nice pick by G in the snake draft. Yeah. Absolutely.
So he's got 2. He got Mackenzie Gore and then Pepio.
Yeah, well, Gore was later, but that's 2 great pitchers. But yeah, that's okay. Rick took Estevez, the reliever. Tommy took Abreu, the reliever. Chris took Finnegan, the reliever. Hunter took McGill.
The reliever? No.
Yeah. And then, after Hunter was Pena was taken, and then Chris took Cano, and Tom took I Can't Read My Writing. And then Rook took Sanchez, and Soderstrom by Garrett.
Look at Garrett go.
That's a great snake draft pick. Wow.
Yeah. Well, he hasn't had any awful ones yet.
Not yet. Donovan, Jay Martinez by Zach. I took Acuna, June, the younger one, who I already dropped. You took R. Lopez?
Reynaldo Lopez, pitcher for the
Braves. Yeah, absolutely. Not a bad snake draft pick. Then Young was taken by Mike, and then he took Stevenson, and then you took Conforto, and I took Hodge. I'm okay with Hodge or Hodge from the Cubs as a snake draft pick. What about Conforto for you?
Conforto, I mean, I don't have a lot of love for Conforto, but I definitely wanted a bat, and he's going from, San Francisco to the Dodgers, right?
Absolutely,
I mean, if there's any great fucking upgrade, other than for him to go to Yankee Stadium, that's the one.
Absolutely. I think he's got a high upside. And other guys I just brought up, Acuna I dropped. You still have Lopez, though, right? Of course.
Yep.
Okay, then Zach took Joyce. Eddie took Barrios. G took Peterson. People bag on Peterson, but I bet you $10 he ends up with 20 homers.
Yeah, I mean, if you check your lineup every day, and if he's starting, that means he's facing a righty, and you should fucking start him.
Right, and usually he's in the top 5 or 6 in the lineup.
Yeah, I mean, if he's playing, you should start him. That's generally.
So another decent pick by G, I think, but he is a guy that could end up on the waiver because he doesn't start all the time. It gets frustrating. So Castro by Rick, then Tom took Holt. We are Cortez by Chris, Baz by Hunter, Bond by Hunter. This shouldn't be 200. Oh yeah, it should be Chris. It's right. Piumps. Tom took Jansen. Bo Naylor by Rick. Then there's G's Gore pick, which goes along with all his other picks. Eddie took Cronworth. Zach took Liam Hendricks. I took Caballero, who I've dropped. You took Wallner or whoever from Minnesota, who you said you dropped already. Mike took Luzardo and somebody. I don't know who his second pick was. A couple decent. Who was it?
Aranda?
Maybe. A couple decent picks in there. Piumps. And I mean, these are all Gore. Obviously, the best pick that I just mentioned, without a doubt, so far. High upside. You took Mayer, Slayton. I took who I like for free in the bullpen. Sanchez by Zach, Rocker by Ed. Well, that's some decent upside for a starter, Rocker. In the snake draft, Kirk G took as his third catcher. Bradley, Rick took, it looks like. I don't know who Tom took. I don't know. Chris took Blanco. Hunter took Bell. Hunter took Lazarnik, or it looks like Chris took. I don't know. Um, Tom took somebody. I can't read my writing. Rick took Goodman. G took Marsh. That's an okay pick as we're reviewing all of G's picks. I mean, he'll probably drop him, but at the same time, Marsh is going to start a lot of games. He could produce a decent. Ed took Waller. Jorgensen by Zach. India by me, who I like.
Yeah,
David
that's a good
Robertson.
pick there.
Yeah, I think so too. David Robertson for you, and Job is the last pick. Of all those last run I took, I like Rocker by Ed way back there. I like Jay Bell is decent in the snake draft, right? Come on, in the snake draft, Josh Bell, what the heck?
Sure.
Same with
I
Marsh.
mean, sure.
Yeah, exactly. Same with Marsh. I do like
Yeah.
India a lot. Right before India, I read that wrong. I think that's Zach took Torkelson right there. So that's a great pick.
Oh.
Yeah. So with Torkelson and India as a fourth and third last picks, then you took Robertson and Job. So a decent snake draft. A few stand out. I would say G got some really good, and Zach, who got Rice and Torkelson in the snake draft.
Yeah. There's some good ones in there.
There was some good ones in there. And once again, could it be because there were more relievers taken? Possibly.
It could be.
Could be. So, Steve, this was our 16th year in Vegas. It was so much fun. Good to see everybody was at the draft. Here are a couple quotes I wrote down from the draft. Sometimes I'll just tell you who said it. Sometimes I'll see if you can guess who said it. Okay, are you ready?
Sure.
Zipper face.
Well, that's Hunter, right?
Yeah, he tried to think of Chapman's nickname, and he called him Zipper face. 30 years old, and only been in the majors for 1 year.
Who said that?
Hunter. Who said this? My definition is he's a pussy.
Oh, that's Rick, right?
Nope, that was Tom.
Oh, okay.
But right next to that quote I wrote down, what a dick, was Rick. So
Nice, yeah.
this is a classic one. I think you'll remember who said it. He's got to be close to the hospital.
I don't know.
That was Zach talking about a guy who gets injured. I was like, he's got to be close to the hospital. That was a good one. I like that a lot. This was a good back and forth between G and Mike. I had him last year. What? I had him last year. No, you didn't.
Yeah, that's an all-timer
Eddie,
with Mike giving that.
that's a great one. The way he said it, the way I said it gives it no justice how he said it. Eddie said, well, why didn't you bid? And Tom said, because I was talking.
Yeah, because I was talking.
Because I was talking. This is a nice one. I think you might be able to figure out. You better fill those IR spots up because that's what they're there for. There's a reason you have them. That was Tom.
All right.
Pull it, Eddie. Back to back solid $4 guys. That was me.
Back to back solid $4 guys.
That was me. I don't know who I was talking about. See if you can guess this one. Mark my words, Cy Young winner.
Eddie?
Tom. That sounds made up.
Zach.
Rick.
Oh.
And then this one, someone asked him, he said, I was eating a cookie.
Well, I don't think I had a cookie, so who was it?
It was Tom. Someone asked him why he didn't bid or something. He was like, well, I was eating a cookie. This
Tom
one was an
is
interesting
very
one.
quotable.
This one was a great one. The salsa got fisted.
Oh fuck! I remember that line. Oh, that one was Eddie, right?
Yep, that one was Eddie.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
And then I think this was because he was taking one of the last ones. He said, how many Vietnamese players are left?" That was Rick.
Oh,
I think
gotcha.
he took a Vietnamese player and he was like, "Well, how many are left?" A little racist.
Uh, yeah. And also, I'm like, are there many Vietnamese players in the league this year? I wouldn't know actually.
Rick
I don't
also
think there
said,
are.
less racist. Rick said, "You can bid, Dan." I think it was right after he said, "I wanted him." He's like, "You can bid, Dan." Um, and who said this one? "There's no stopping us."
Hunter?
That was you.
Oh, nice. I like it.
I like it.
Now I'm looking. Now I'm looking at my team and I'm like, oh no, there's a lot of stopping.
I gotta say, it was one of the most smooth drafts we've had in the 16 years we've been doing it live. Of course, having the auctioneer, Chuck is really, really become very, very good at it. Nobody complained about any of his, short calls or quick calls or too long calls this year.
Yeah, no, it was awesome.
It was awesome. We had all 10 players there starting early. That's the first time we've ever started that early. And I would say I want to start that early every year.
The fact that they could get into the suite early to set things up was that was big for sure.
It was
Big.
really big. It was really, really big. I didn't mind. I enjoyed drafting at the Nugget.
Yeah, I mean everybody spread out, had their own areas. It was old school for sure.
It was old school, very successful draft. I gotta say, I like my team a lot. I say that every year. I gotta say, as my partner in this show, your team might need some work.
Yeah. I do not like my team a lot. I'm just saying. I like my pitching and my
Yeah,
hitting seems suspect and just compared to what I see from say Garrett and Eddie's team, yeah, I need I need some projections to be wrong. Let's just say that.
but I will say, in our three-part review, Garrett and Eddie's teams seem to stick out really among the two best, maybe.
Yeah, agreed.
Agreed. Agreed. Great talking about the draft. I'm Dan O'Day. That's Steve Romano. Join us next week as we start talking about the season. Till then, baseball, baseball, baseball.
Rock and roll.